Is there anyone else out there in their 40s like me?
If you had asked me what my life was going to look like at
I need a husband. I need a husband. I'm tired.
You guys, I cannot believe what my own
Welcome to The Wall. Today, we're taking a look at women over 35, single, and breaking down inside. Many say they feel invisible, and the truth is, female loneliness just keeps growing. Every like is an applause that helps us keep creating. Subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. We always highlight the best one. And endless thanks to those who support this project through Super Chat. Let's get started.
Is there anyone else out there in their 40s like me who feels kind of invisible? Like, I'm not as cute as I was in my 20s and 30s. I'm definitely not as fit as I was in my 20s and 30s. I don't have as much hair as I used to have. It's literally falling off like the top of my head. Oh, it's falling off the top of my head. I just spit everywhere. Not as graceful as I used to be. And like the hair that is growing back in, it's gray, which is fine. I'm good with going gray. I've had this gray streak in my hair for a really long time and I've just been rocking it. But like, I don't have any more eyebrows. I don't have any more eyelashes. I just don't feel pretty anymore. Who else is out there who feels this way? Because it can't just be me. But also I feel like there needs to be this whole revolution of women like us on social media to prove to everyone that we're still here and we're still valid and we're still relevant.
Brothers, the wall always collects. When you were young, you turned heads, but like every trendy artist, your time passed. Because with each passing day, you're not getting younger, you're getting older. A smart woman uses her best years to secure a good man, build a family, and have children. But many bought into the feminist narrative, travel, corporate careers, living life, and now, at 40, they're realizing no one cares about them anymore. They feel invisible. And the truth is, a woman without a family feels this way because she's not important to anyone. There's no one waiting for her to walk through that door. We warn them, but they never listen. In the end, the wall collects its price because the wall doesn't forgive.
If you had asked me what my life was going to look like at 39, there's not a world that exists that I would have thought it would look like this. I definitely thought in my 20s that I was going to get married later in life, which would be like 30 instead of 25. And I never was like really gung-ho on kids. I assumed that I would have them, but I thought it would be later, like 33. In fact, when I was in my 20s, I would always say the only thing worse than being married at 25 is single at 32, because I thought that single at 32 was literally a death wish, because that is what we were programmed to think. That's what society, marketing, patriarchy, and Disney movies have been telling us since we were so little. A marriage is a business contract. Most of them fail, and people spend a lot of money to get out of those contracts. I still believe in the institution of marriage, but I've had a bit of an enlightening about what it actually is. Women are handed this fantasy where our goal is to be chosen. Women are saying, I don't really need to be chosen. I choose myself. I choose my friends. I choose the people that bring actual value to my life. And because I can afford to live on my own, you don't bring as much value by only being a provider. Men now have to be more than just being a provider. Anyways, I could go on a lot of tangents about that. You can only just be present in the moment that you have right now, how you're showing up for yourself right now. Don't spiral into the future. Just cultivate a life that you love and watch the rest of it unfold, because what will be will be.
That's what you were programmed to believe. From the cosmetics companies to the big pharmaceutical firms and hospitals pushing the egg freezing business. They spend millions on advertising just to keep women single. Why do you think the feminist movement has so much backing, holds so many marches, has so many influencers? What do those people live on if they have so much free time for all that? Because me, if I don't work, I don't eat. And I'm sure it's the same for you. These are paid campaigns designed to make women hate the idea of having a home and a family, so they end up alone. Remember that article published in every magazine claiming the happiest people were single women? The one that demonized traditional women and housewives, calling them oppressed? If that woman had gotten married at 25, by now she might have 2 kids, a husband, and a home. But instead, at 39, she's single, hopeless, and looking anything but happy. Chances are, she's already frozen her eggs. And if this is the kind of life a woke woman lives, as she calls it, then maybe it would have been better to stay asleep.
Women.
I need a husband. I need a husband. I'm tired of singleness. I'm 39 years old. Very soon I'll enter menopause, please. I need a husband in my life. No matter what you are doing, I'm going to marry you. Are you a barrel pusher? Are you a beggar? Are you a conductor? Please marry me. Please, I'm going to sponsor the marriage. I'm going to give you money to pay my bride price. I'm going to sponsor the wedding with my money. Please come and marry me. I'm tired of singleness. Please. I'm 39 years old. Please come and marry me. I'm getting old. I'm getting old, please. I need a husband in my life. I need a man in my life. I'm tired of singleness, please. I don't want to buy myself. I no longer sleep. All my mates are married with kids, but nobody wants to marry me. Nigerians, please, I'm calling everybody out. Please come and marry me. If you have a brother that needs a wife, please let me know. I don't care about what you are doing. I don't care. Even if you don't have a job, I'm going to sponsor it. I need a man in my life, please. I'm 39 years old. Look at me. Please, 39 years old without a child. 39 years old without a husband. 39 years old with no relationship. Please, I'm tired of men knocking me and leaving me. They will just come into my life and knock me and leave me. Please, I need a man in my life, a man that will be knocking me anyhow. A man that will be knocking me anyhow he wants. Don't worry, don't go to work. I will be giving you food. I will sponsor the marriage. Please. I will sponsor the marriage. I will sponsor everything.
Oh, hell no!
What you just witnessed is a woman having a crisis, finally admitting the truth. This is what happens when a woman doesn't look for a man during her best years. I'm sure the men her friends ended up with were average guys, but back in her youth, she didn't want any of them. Women need to understand, they age like fruit, while men age like wine. If you don't make the most of your prime years, the opportunities slip away. The train for having kids has already passed, and now menopause is around the corner. You know the difference between this woman and that 39-year-old blonde? That one might be slightly more attractive, but they're both in the same situation. Now she's willing to accept all kinds of men she would have never even looked at in her younger days. But now that she has no demand, now that she's invisible, she wants an average guy. At this point, your best bet might be to travel and hope to find some desperate guy in a third-world country looking for a visa, someone you can fool into sticking around. Because around here, it's not looking good. What do you guys think?
You guys, I cannot believe what my own mother said to me last night. She said, Kira, you need to go out and get a boyfriend. You're getting too old. She is kind of right. But what? I was like, Mother, that is so rude. Why would you say that to me? Oh my gosh. Okay, but if we're being real, where am I gonna meet someone if I barely leave my house? Like, the only place I really go to is the grocery store. And I've actually always envisioned myself meeting my future husband at the grocery store. Like, in the pasta aisle or something. Like, we'll bump into each other and we'll make eye contact. And then, I don't know. You just know it's bad when your own mom points it out. These are just too good.
Well then, Kira, maybe take a walk down the tools aisle or head over to Home Depot. They say a lot of women are out there looking for love. Your mom, who comes from a culture where feminism hasn't completely rotted everything yet, gets it. The train is leaving, and the older you get, the harder it'll be to have kids. Brother, the devil isn't wise because he's the devil, but because he's old. That mother understands something her daughter doesn't. Your best years don't come back. That's why she tells her to make a move, to put herself where things actually happen. To me, that's real motherly love. What do you guys think?
One of the times that I find it more difficult to be older and single is on the weekends. Does anyone feel this way on the weekends and in the summer when like the days get really long and if you don't have plans, it's just feeling like the world is like moving around you. Wait, what am I supposed to be doing? If you can get a really good routine with activity and not doom scrolling, intentional behavior in your home, then it's fine. A Friday night to yourself, make a dinner plan with a friend. But sometimes I just feel like the weekends can like drag on and on versus the weekdays when you have work, you have obligations, like you're doing your thing, you're getting to bed early. Does anyone else feel like that? Hearing myself talk, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm having a little bit of a hard weekend. And that's okay. What is that, Georgie? What is that, Georgie? What is that, Georgie?
At least you've got a dog that still barks at you. Women like this fall into the trap of wanting a man who's already made it. But they forget that the wives enjoying strong marriages today were the ones who walked alongside their men, supported them through the process, and now enjoy the victory together. She doesn't want the process, just the result. But that game always ends the same, alone. Because while she wastes time waiting for the perfect guy, there are younger women willing to walk the path with a man and grow with him. And the high-value man, the one who's already built something, doesn't even look her way because to him, her time has passed. That's why, year after year, she looks lonelier and sadder. Because in this game, time never plays in her favor, and the wall doesn't forgive.
Your life, find yourself dating a man who says this to you, please understand he is going to be cheap and he's going to be like the worst person to date. If he starts to say to you, oh, but like, what are you going to do for me now? You know, I bought you a few dinners, you know, I like did this for you, I did that for you. So what are you going to do for me? Immediately run. Immediately run. This man is seeing your dynamic is very transactional. This man is not generous. This man is not a provider. This man is not going to protect you. Okay. Because he did something for you. Now, like, what is he going to get out of that? He doesn't want to give willingly. It's not in his nature to want to give to make you feel safe as a woman. He doesn't understand that that's his role as a man is to provide and protect for you. Now, if he's wanting you to do something back in return, he's in his feminine energy. He is very unhealed, toxic. It is really that deep. If a man is ever counting his pennies with you, do not take this lightly. Don't even feel bad and show that you're not using him or show that you're a quality woman. Okay, he should know the quality that you bring to the table without having to contribute financially to something. And even if he brings up things like, oh, what are you gonna do for me now? Like, first of all, who are you? Are you a princess? Like, of course a woman is going to want to do things for you, but when you have an attitude that you should expect something because you did like the bare minimum, sir, like, please go away. If you want to go date a man, please go date a man. If you want to get something out of it, go date a man, because a man will 100% get your back. They'll pay you back. They'll treat your dynamic pretty transactional if that's what you're looking for. So don't let any man gaslight you into making you feel bad for them doing the bare minimum. So insane and gross. Like, don't let them ever make you feel bad for that. You are worthy of that and so much more. Okay, so if you hear those words coming out of his mouth, goodbye, see ya, you can find someone a million times better that can do that and more for you. So literally say goodbye to that.
And never expect a woman to give you intimacy on a date. That's not gentlemanly. Your role is to court her, and over the course of a few dates, make your moves gradually, but never by asking for anything directly, because that doesn't work. A real man is a provider and protector, but for his woman, not for just any stranger who thinks she's entitled to your wallet. These modern women go out thinking that just by sitting at the table with you, they deserve gifts and a paid bill. They market themselves as high value, but the reality is they're just high maintenance. So watch out, because they love the word provider, but what they love even more is receiving.
Recently, I've been hearing a lot of buzz around the 2019 Morgan Stanley study that predicts 45% of women between the ages of 25 to 44 will be single and childless by 2030. We're at 41% in 2018, so it's expected that more and more women will be single and childless as the years roll on. I was first introduced to this data last week via TikTok. I wish I had the original video, but I scrolled past it quickly in a panic. My first reaction was, wow, I'm going to be single forever. I kind of felt bad for myself for a second. I thought, such a shame. What a sad, companionless life I'll live. When I actually began imagining myself alone in my 30s, I was struck with an overwhelming sense of relief. I can stop putting so much pressure on myself to figure out my career today, right now. I can stop telling myself I'm a lazy piece of shit for not having everything, my career, a relationship, a plan figured out today, right now. According to Morgan, I got no kids to worry about for a minute. As long as I can afford to go on the seemingly few bachelorette trips to Mexico that are going to happen, I'm Gucci. I can stop putting so much pressure on myself to make a lot of money, travel the world, and do everything I want to do in the next 3 years before I turn 30. What it sounds like Morgan is trying to tell us is that the girls are going to be having Dua Lipa summers for the next solid decade. What is a Dua Lipa summer, you ask? Okay, you know how Dua Lipa is always on vacation? She's with a big group of friends, other hot girls, seemingly some gays, seemingly some straight guys. Everyone's stylish, wearing one-of-a-kind string bikinis paired with rock-hard abs. They make delicious home-cooked meals at their shared estate, smoke cigarettes by the pool, and have moonlit photo shoots. That's gonna be us. Maybe not right now. Maybe not this summer. Maybe not even next summer. But we're going to stack our bread. Save up for that stud bag in the vintage Chanel sunglasses and the blue marine sheer dress. I might be single and childless, but I will be the best dressed at the handful of friends' weddings. Invite me. I'll be the Dua Lipa of honor. The Google AI overview revealed to me that no, Morgan Stanley is not actually a person. Morgan Stanley was started by Henry Morgan, JP's grandson, the JP, and Harold Stanley, some other guy. So while I can't thank Morgan for giving me this peace of mind, I can thank finance as a whole for bringing us something new to aspire to. The many single and childless Dua Lipa summers ahead.
I hope you've got the kind of money Dua Lipa has for those vacations you're planning. Morgan Stanley didn't say anything we haven't been preaching for years. Most women will be single because of their idea of not settling, because they keep believing they're the prize. And it's not just their choice. The system also pushes men away from marriage. Current laws make getting married a huge financial risk. Divorces where the man loses his house, half of everything he's earned, and ends up paying alimony for life. A lot of guys have already seen it firsthand. Fathers, brothers, friends going broke. That's why men would rather not play that game. So by 2030, enjoy your cats and the wall, because the wall doesn't forgive.
If you're the nice guy that keeps watching the girl you like get attached to toxic men, you might want to listen up. Today, we're talking about why women love toxic men. Whew, I'm gonna need it. Now, the obvious is that we want to change them. Think of that one thing you were never able to achieve in life. And remember how it felt so good when you finally succeeded? That's why. We want the experience of successfully attaining that thing we couldn't get. When something isn't easy to get, we want it more. Next, usually we feel bad for them. It's not so easy to leave them when we become so invested in their story. Usually this story involves some level of loneliness, and we feel like if we leave them, even though they'll run straight to the next girl, at the end of the day, they'll wind up alone. And the thought of that makes us feel guilty. We like the intensity. Healthy relationships don't have those same intense feelings of toxic relationships. There's no peaks and valleys. It's pretty stable. Although there are low lows in a toxic relationship, the dopamine during those highs becomes addicting. We don't feel like we can get anyone else. Usually that feeling becomes more prevalent the longer you're with a toxic guy. You can't imagine yourself starting over. And the thought of being alone is really scary. And that person has convinced us that they're great. And we believe it. Although it's frustrating to watch people you care about winds up in this cycle, if you're a non-toxic guy watching this, there's hope. This cycle doesn't last forever, and I'm an example of that. You eventually hit an exhaustion point of no return. And although there's a lot of healing to be done after the fact, the good guy always wins.
Stop it. Get some help.
Every woman loves going through a toxic guy, and some don't stop at just one, but go through several. It's true. They love the emotional roller coaster, the type of guy who showers them with love one day and knocks them off their cloud the next. Why does it work? Because women hate comfort. Most of them, when they're in a stable relationship with no drama, get bored. They need those dopamine hits from time to time. That's why men are sometimes advised not just to do things, but to act. Act like they might be unfaithful, dress well to go out with friends, have a night out, and come home late. Not let themselves be controlled. Sure, you can be loving, but you have to give her a dose of drama. Because they need it, to know they can't control you. That's what makes them treat you better, because they don't want to lose their man.
My 30-something-year-old women who don't have kids yet, but you want kids, but you feel like you're running out of time to have them. Where are you? Because same. And I just feel, I'm 32, and I just feel like I'm in this place in my life right now where I'm a little selfish. I just moved out and bought my house in December with my boyfriend, and I just feel like I want kids eventually. Like, I definitely want children, but I don't want them right now. But then I'm like, am I getting too old? Like, do I need to get a move on? I'm not married yet. I would like to be married before I have my kids. Like, I just feel like there's so much to do, and like, I'm running out of time. So, and every time I see my aunt, she asks me when I'm freezing my eggs. So that doesn't help. But like, I don't know. I'm just not ready. I'm still like, I feel like I still have never even had like my dream body yet. I don't want to get pregnant yet. I'm still trying to get fit and like in shape. And like, my friend brought her baby over last week, and it was me and my sister and our friend. And I was like, holy shit, like, you have a baby and then you just have to bring the baby everywhere. Like, I know that sounds probably stupid to some people, but I don't know. Like, I love being able to just like leave the house in the morning and go to Pilates or go meet up with my friends, or, you know, it's like a selfish era, I guess. And I know once I have kids, I will love them and want to spend time with them, and it won't feel like right now I always complain about the dogs. I'm like, I fucking hate feeding the dogs. You know, the dogs are a pain in the ass, but you know, I know children are different. But like, I don't know, can anyone relate? Like, 32, definitely want kids someday, just don't want them right now, but like, when's it too late? I don't know.
Women like this don't understand two things. When you have a child, even if you have the freedom to go out with your friends or spend a night away, you're not going to want to. Not because your husband can't take care of the kid, but because you won't want to. Your priorities change, and you'll want to do mom things. The other thing is how demonized motherhood has become. It's like she thinks her world will end after having a child, when it's actually the opposite. First of all, you're already 32. Your biological clock is behind. You've got a husband. You should take advantage of that and give him a child. I don't get why they're so obsessed with getting married first. Another thing, you're running out of time, and instead of seizing your opportunity, you're wasting it. Because if you keep waiting and then can't give that man a child, you know he's going to leave. But they don't listen to advice, brothers.
Women.
I've seen that statistic that women over 30 have a 50% chance of getting married. Now, that is an interesting statistic, because what I think it's really saying is, once you get past 30, only 50% of women are interested in men anymore. That's what it is. It's like, you know what? Once you're 30, you've got your money, you've got your career, you've got your car, you've got a house, you're doing your thing, and you realize, unless a man is genuinely nice to me, what good is he doing? What good is he doing around here? Why do I need a man again? For what? For what? So once women get to their 30s, they realize how much they are capable of doing on their own, how great their life can be single. And the interest from women goes down. That's what it is. Because I'm telling you, I'm getting a lot of men confused in my comments and in my DMs about what exactly I'm trying to say when I'm making it clear that I'm single and child-free and like in my 30s. That's not an advertisement for you to date me. It's not. I don't want to date you. Definitely not if you're commenting on my posts being like, I'm a single dad, I'm 33, my condolences. My condolences to you. Sorry to hear that, but that's got nothing to do with me, and it never will. Numbers don't lie, but you can absolutely manipulate them to fit your narrative. So anytime you hear a number, you gotta think about that statistic. What else could that be saying? What other reasons could explain why that number is the way it is? Gotta put your thinking caps on for that one.
She says that by 30, women don't need a man because they've got a car, a career, and a house. What they don't talk about is the other side of the story. Most of those women are also buried in debt, student loans, mortgages, credit cards, even car payments. And a lot of them end up back at their parents' house because they can't afford to live on their own. Most men in their 30s are looking for younger women. A man who hits his 30s with his life in order isn't looking for a woman drowning in bills. He doesn't want a liability. He wants someone who adds value. And that's the issue. Aside from the fact that their biological clock is already working against them, a lot of these women aren't an asset. They're a burden. So don't expect a man to be your lifeline.
Something I learned from my toxic relationship, and one of the worst things a man can do to you, is future fake you. When a man messes up and they betray you, they will come back and make you false promises and into the future saying, oh, I'm going to change, I'm going to go to therapy, or I'm going to change and things are going to get better. And the future looks bright for us because I'm going to propose to you in a year, or we're going to have a baby. And that's what future faking is. And future faking is actually transactional because they're making you a false promise, a promise that you pretty much wanted. And they say, okay, I'm going to make you this false promise, but you stay in the relationship. So then you get stuck. And that's what happened with me in my last relationship. My ex would make me false promises. He betrayed me and hurt me. And then he came back and apologized and said that he was going to change, that he was going to go to therapy, and that he was not going to drink anymore. And when I would ask him, like, hey, you said you were going to go to therapy this month, and he never went. And he would be like, oh, sorry, it's next month, the enrollment's next month. And he kept on making all of these excuses. And so that's what future faking is. It's a false promise to keep you stuck in the relationship when nothing's ever going to change.
I want you to notice that she gave the toxic guy more than one chance. He kept promising he'd change, and she kept believing him. Then she says she doesn't like bad guys, but you watch how he fools her over and over, and she keeps going back to him. Most men don't manipulate the way women do. They don't go out of their way to hurt you like a woman does. It's just that women fool themselves with the lie they like the most. You could have left him, but you kept going back because deep down, you wanted to be there. Once you take a little responsibility for the situation, you realize you like that man, and you believed everything he said just to keep being with him. Brother, responsibility is kryptonite to women.
An asset, he's a liability. We live in a day and age where having a man in your life is not a necessity, it's a luxury. If you want to have a man in your life, that's your prerogative, but you need to be very careful about who you choose as a boyfriend or as a husband. If you choose the wrong person, it is going to hold you back tremendously. I can't tell you how many times I've seen women who are successful and thriving in their lives incorporate a man in their lives and in turn are held back. They are bogged down by stress, they are bogged down by drama, and that relationship sabotages their success. Having a boyfriend is not a flex, and not having a boyfriend does not reflect poorly on you. Not having a boyfriend or a husband reflects positively on you in today's day and age because it shows that you have high standards for yourself. Having a thriving career, having a thriving friend group, having things that interest me, having hobbies that I'm passionate about, have resulted in me being happier in my life overall than any relationship ever has. The idea that you need a relationship to be happy is such an antiquated idea. You absolutely do not. You need to be very, very selective on what kind of man you allow into your life and next to you. If that man fuels you, if he supports you, if he's your number one cheerleader, then fantastic. You're probably better off with him in your life. If he takes away from you, if he causes drama in your life, if he causes emotional distress in your life, if he's just another thing for you to manage, you are playing yourself and you will be much better off without him in your life. You will be much better off single. This is a time in history where women are thriving and you can be a part of that. If you feel like you need to have a man in your life to be happy or to have a sense of self, it's very important that you reflect on that and you grow through that. In spite of everything that's happening, this is the best time in history to be a woman. We need to keep marching forward. We need to keep establishing ourselves in these positions of power. And you cannot do that if you are managing a man-child.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Is living a life based on a lie. And she's looking worse by the day. The years are starting to show. She demonizes everything about men, acting like any woman who gets involved with a man is guaranteed to end up miserable, when that's just not the case in most situations. I've seen and been with women who, on the outside, look successful, but behind the scenes, their finances are a mess. No stability, drowning in debt, living in constant stress, until they find a man who brings order to their life. So in that case, which is actually the norm, who's the real burden? Another thing, she assumes that every woman who stays single is successful, when in reality, more women today are living in poverty than ever before. There are more homeless and broke women now than in the 1980s. How is that possible, in what's supposed to be the best time in history to be a woman? How is it that so many are more exhausted, taking more antidepressants, going to therapy more often, and are the top holders of credit card and student loan debt in the country? Is that what she calls their peak? The wall keeps collecting victims, because the wall doesn't forgive.
I'm about to eat you up right now, so sit down. Staying with a man through hard times does not make you his ride or die. It does not make you his home that he always comes back to. Does not make you God's strongest soldier, whatever you guys say. It makes you his biggest dummy. The thought process of staying with a man while he's at his worst was literally constructed by men. I can tell you point blank, period. Men will not respect you. You will show how little self-worth you have, because straight up, show me the man who's standing beside you. I can show you how much or how little you have self-respect. And yes, he'll want you to stay around because women are currency to men. Period. Having you around benefits him. Having him around you only siphons your energy. You're going to be putting more energy towards that man, specifically if he's in hard times. You're going to want to put more energy toward him, try to build him up. All of that should be going into you, not to him. And men know that women have this maternal instinct, this, Barbara the Builder, as Shira 7 says, instinct to want to just fix them. Don't do that. Don't fix them. That's on them. They need to find their masculinity and go ahead and fix themselves. It is okay to leave. If you said this situation does not serve me, you are not in a financial position where you can actually treat me the way I need to be treated, you are not serving my life. Okay? Period. Being his cook, being his cleaner, being his maid, being his built-in nanny pretty much is only helping him find somebody better, find somebody who respects themselves more. I'm telling you, if you go back to men who aren't dating you, if they're dating somebody else and you ask, why did you keep going back to this woman? They will inevitably say, because she let me. Has nothing to do with love.
Fuck up, you crazy bitch whore!
He's not in a financial position to treat me the way I deserve. The first thing I'll say is, I don't know who told you that men are out here looking for broke women. Because women like this one, who are clearly hungry for money, are the kind who get with a man and end up ruining him, because all they know how to do is spend. I've always had standards. If a woman doesn't bring anything to my life, I cut her off. And when I say bring something, I'm not talking about money. Every man goes through highs and lows, but it's in the lows that you really get to know who's by your side. If your woman leaves you in a time of crisis, don't get mad. Thank God he took the wrong woman out of your life. That's why I always support the idea that a man should value the woman who helped him build, and more than anything, the one who stayed when he lost everything and still treated him with love and gave him encouragement. Because what this woman said represents the biggest fear most men have, that they'll stop being loved once they have nothing left.
Want to see a bunch of men get really pissed off in the comments section, then stop scrolling. You're going to want to see this one. So I married a man in finance, right? He works super late nights, very early mornings. It is truly nonstop. And I like to poke fun at him sometimes in the situation because he's trying to work in really weird places, like laptop open, still on the phone, boarding the plane. Like sometimes I'm just like, what are you doing? But he's also just a different breed of human. He really is. But sometimes people will comment on my videos or they will come in my DMs and they'll be like, I don't know how you do it. I can never live with someone like that. I can never live like that. Yada, yada, yada. And I have news to share with you guys, okay? I am not attracted to a leisure man. No, I'm not. And dare I say it, being leisure is for the girl. I picked my poison. I chose my poison. Dare I say it, I am attracted to this poison. I am not into a man that you have to coach. I'm not into someone that I have to be their mommy. I am into a man that is driven. He's out there. He knows what he wants and he's getting after it. I don't have to tell him to do anything. No direction. By all means, though, if you are into a leisure man, do you. But this girl? No.
Absolutely. That's the role of a good wife. If your man is out there chasing the money, working to give you both a better life, then what's your role? To support him, to take care of that man. Make sure he has his meals, his clothes are in order, and it's obvious he has a wife who looks after him. What's his role? To provide for you. To make sure you have a stress-free life, that he's the one carrying the financial burden. But when he has a moment to breathe, you're there as his place of peace and love. A woman who has a productive man understands that her man is her business. The better he does, the better life she gets. Because most of the time it's the wife who enjoys the rewards of his success. A feminist woman with a nose ring is never going to understand that.
I just saw a video that I literally screamed at because I just related to it so much, because I was just like, oh my goodness, this, and I never knew how to describe it. But this woman literally came on the internet and said, I do not want a leisurely man. I want a man who's working, and her man works in finance and whatever. And I never really talk about dating here, but my biggest pet peeve in anything, and the way that my friends date or people around me just in general date, is there's grown men being mothered by their girlfriend who's younger than them or the same age as them. And that shit blows me. It actually, oh my God. Why is your man literally a princess? Why are you working like a dog day and night and he's chilling, vibing? He doesn't even have a goal. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have anything. And I think it's just it really just pisses me off and irks me to even see that. But for a man to try to enter my life with that type of energy is insane. I rebuke it. I forbid it. Back up. That's crazy as hell to me. I have more ambition. I'm working harder. I'm making more money than you. I'm more educated than you as my man. I'm not talking about your man, so don't get mad. Don't get your panties in a twist. I know how y'all like to be upset when people like to have standards for themselves, but there's absolutely no way. There's absolutely no way. You have to bring real value into my life for you to be the father of my children and for you to not be resourceful enough to figure your own shit out and have your own goals and have a life and dream. And you want to be the father of my children? Huh. Goodbye. That's actually so crazy to me. But anyways, that video just made me so happy because I felt so seen. And I actually fully do believe in not dating below your tax bracket either, especially as a woman of color, especially as a Black woman, especially as a first-gen immigrant. There's no way that you worked your ass off to be up here for you to date a man who's meant to be the provider, by the way, and whatnot, since they love to be an alpha male. And you're dating a man that can't even do that. Can't even provide the thing that they're supposed to do. So you're dragging the table with you to this relationship. It appears you're not bringing it to the table. You are the table. You're dragging. You're marching. It's unfortunate. So anyway, that's my little 2 cents on that. And I fully adhere by this in my relationships with girlfriends as well. Just friends as a whole, family, period. Go clock in. Go clock in. Go get a job. Go clock in.
Stop it. Get some help.
I have to say, I partly agree with her. As a man, I've never lived a relaxed life. From the moment I started walking my own path, I changed all my bad habits, to the point where what others call work, I see as fun. I'm not saying men shouldn't take breaks, but you have to be careful how you do it, because it can lead you into a bad situation. If you want to dig deeper into that, read the book The Compound Effect. She can ask for a hardworking, ambitious man with goals, but what is she offering in return? Because if all she brings to the table is that competitive attitude, sooner or later she's going to end up alone, turned into the very man she dreams of marrying. And worst of all, thinking everyone else is beneath her. Brother, that's the perfect recipe for ending up on the wall. And we all know, the wall doesn't forgive.
Let's split the bill. Let's go half and half. Let's talk about it. Good morning, besties, and happy day 3 to stay committed on posting. Okay, I was thinking about this yesterday. I stumbled across this TikTok, and it was about men and women going 50-50 on bills on date night dinners. And I was thinking, am I part of a whole other generation, or what is the deal now? Is that what you guys are doing? If so, what's the point of being together if you're going to be paying for half of your meal? Sis, you're paying for your meal, basically. But is that what's new now? Like, people are going half on everything? And if you're out on a date and a guy wants to split the bill, like let's say the server comes out and immediately he's like, oh, half and half. Is that a turnoff? Let me know in the chats. Let me know if that's a turnoff, or if some girls are just like, whatever, I'm fine being taken out and paying for myself. Let me know in the chat and let's talk about it, because I'm really curious.
Woman, if you don't want to end up embarrassed, accept going out for a coffee date. No serious man is going to refuse to pay for a coffee. But if you expect a guy to take you to a fancy restaurant you'd never even go to with your own money, don't be surprised if he ends up asking to split the bill, especially if the date was a disaster. I've always paid on the first date, and that's what I recommend. But I've seen way too many men invite women to expensive places, only to watch them order like they haven't eaten in 3 days, and then tell them straight to their face, let's go half and half. And some guys, just to avoid an argument, simply get up and leave, sticking her with the bill. So if you want to go out, carry some money in your purse or be okay with a coffee date, because the truth is, no one wants to be anyone's free meal.
I fully agree. Men's mental health does matter. That said, why aren't they making it matter, right? Why is it a woman's job to make it matter while they're spending all of their time criticizing us and judging us for the communities and the spaces that we...
Because these types of men will do literally anything other than go to therapy and actually address their issues and better themselves, because they are consuming a ton of red pill content. And I want to expose some of these red pill content creators that I actually grew up with today. It is a grifter pyramid scheme based off of toxic masculinity that's only goal is to rob these insecure young men of their money. And it's a really good example of how misogyny and the patriarchy harms everyone, including men, not just women. Keeping them at the bottom and unsuccessful by teaching them to be lazy, whiny, blame other people, specifically women, for all your problems. And don't go to therapy to better yourself. No, strip women of all their rights so that they're forced to come back and rely on you. Because, oh no, with women gaining rights, right, they're no longer completely entirely reliant on men, and they don't have to put up with as much of this behavior as before. And beyond that, they've always had to create their own emotional support groups with women that you guys can't seem to form, which is leading to a male loneliness epidemic, because male friendships are seen as weak. Because it's easier to blame other people, right, than realize you yourself are your problem in life and going to therapy and bettering yourself. And how do I know all this? I grew up in the Minnetonka, Wayzata, Edina, Minnesota area. Very wealthy red towns that have churned out some of the biggest influencers you know today. I also did shortly go to school out near Los Angeles. So I have talked to and accidentally gone out with some red pill adjacent men before, and I've also been approached by red pill content viewers. You notice the very distinct difference in the wording between those two things? That's because the red pill content men who are making this content and feeding it to millions of kids and ruining a generation know that they are lying and they are conning men out of their money based off of their insecurities. They are frequently surrounded by women to convince you that you can get women if you listen to them, because they don't use their own practices. They're actually pretty normal people offline. You can always tell when a man is consuming the red pill content because they are horrible. And luckily, it doesn't usually work, right? They're being taught to treat women terribly, right? Open with negging, putting women down, pushing them to their limits. Things that most emotionally developed women are not going to put up with, luckily. So it doesn't work, and it keeps them down and consuming the content, thinking, what am I doing wrong? Why has he still got women and I don't? And it's because he's not doing what he's telling you to do. That stuff doesn't work. Just like that one really big red pill content creator I don't remember the name of was spotted in public or at an airport or something recently, and a little kid ran up to him and asked for a photo because he loved watching his stuff. And he was like, yeah, sure. And then the kid starts going off on this rant, horrible about women. And the creator's like, whoa, we don't talk about women like that. Like, what are you on about? And everyone was like, what are you talking about? You're literally the one who taught him this stuff. Like, why are you shocked that this kid is acting this way? He's a huge fan of yours. Because these large creators do not realize the damage they are doing to generations and generations of men. All they care about is taking your money, and then they log off, and offline they are a completely different people. And the consequences of that is now the rest of us have to deal with these hundreds of thousands, if not millions of men who view them who are now horrible and have been taught to do absolutely anything other than going to therapy and addressing their issues to better themselves because that's what would actually work.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I don't know what red pill she's talking about. For example, on my channel, I've never told men to hate women or to stay single forever. That's not my thing. My message is, follow your own path in life. Become the best version of yourself. Work on your mindset. Learn about finances. Hit the gym. Take care of your appearance. Things like your haircut and the way you dress, and build productive habits. I can guarantee you that'll lead to success in every area of your life. That's the red pill I know. Now, I am clear when I say, don't stay with women who don't respect you. Learn to set boundaries. Talk to your woman about your red lines and your non-negotiables. I point out the manipulation many women use, because the hypocrisy of creators like her is that they only see the bad in men and completely ignore what's happening on the other side. I've never claimed all men are saints. I've talked about the Chads too. But women like her back up everything women do, even when they cheat on a man who was committed to his family, when they demand rights that go beyond equality and turn into superiority over men, when they expect a man to be a simp for them or stay stuck in the friend zone while they go off and have fun with someone else, when they file for divorce out of boredom and leave a good man out in the cold, or when they say never sign a prenup, because they're going straight for the bag. So no, red pill content isn't all bad. It's just that there are a lot of women like you who are mad because that heartbroken friend of yours isn't your puppet in the friend zone anymore.
Women.
This is where you guys, the moral police, get to have a say.
So it's a young lady?
28 years old.
Right.
And she is a stay-at-home mum to an 18-month-old baby girl. And
for the last 2+ years, I've just felt like nothing around my husband. He just won't touch me. He doesn't want to even be near me, it feels like it.
Ever since she got pregnant, she feels like her husband, Joseph, has not been attracted to her anymore. About 2 months ago, Josie met Matt when he was over laying floorboards at her place. So tradie, before you know it, she's sleeping with Matt. So what she does is she hires a babysitter during the day to look after her 18-month-old while she goes off and has sex with Matt.
What's this tradie doing for you? Everything?
Yes. Basically filling all my needs. I kind of want all this from my husband.
And have you told your husband that you've got a babysitter for any reason?
Yes, I told him I just want to start feeling better about myself. So he thinks I'm going to the gym, Pilates.
Is she going to hell? That's all we're asking.
You just had a newborn baby and you're f***ing the tradie that your husband's paying for. Are you serious?
It is revolting that her husband is treating her like this. She has carried a baby for 9 months. She has given of her body. She just wants a hug.
This is everyone's worst fear. This is why everyone's passionate
that's
about
why everyone's fired up.
82% of our listeners on and off the air said, you're probably going to hell.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Welcome to the wall. Clearly, that woman is headed straight to hell. I'm sure hell has a special section for women who cheat on their partners and then have the nerve to say, but I love you. It's insane. She didn't think about going to therapy, talking to her husband, or finding out if he had some kind of problem. No, she decided to cheat on him, not just once, but multiple times. And still, she wants to keep everything with her husband, just not this week, because tomorrow the nanny's coming and she has Pilates class with Matt. The truth is, the only thing she deserves is for her husband to kick her out of the house, keep the kid, and force her to face her new life with her lover. Because then, when Matt has to take care of the woman who destroyed her family, he'll finally know what it really means to carry the weight of a cheater.
My husband is currently packing his bags and also packing our kids' stuff because he is going to leave to another state, all because I cheated on him with a mutual friend. My husband and I have been together for a while. No, I don't think there was any issues in the relationship or marriage whatsoever. I actually thought our life was pretty perfect, but then I decided to talk to one of our mutual friends, and one thing led to another. I think I was just really tired of the fact that my husband was constantly working to make sure that we had a roof over our heads and to make sure that everything was paid, and so I just felt very lonely, so I decided that I was just going to message his friend, just like we are friends, nothing else, that was it, and then all of a sudden it just led to something else. I mean, at least I had the balls to actually tell my husband what was going on because I could have kept it from him. You know, I could have just moved on without telling him shit. After I told him, I was very surprised about his reaction because he was not freaking out or panicking. He just said, okay, and then he said he was going to pack his shit and go, but he was also going to take the kids. He was very demure, if I can say that word. I just thought he was going to accept the fact that I was cheating on him and then we could just move on and, you know, continue with our perfect lives. But no, he instead chose that he wants to actually leave with our kids, and now I'm panicking.
The biggest mistake a man can make these days seems to be giving a woman too much comfort. Because the reality is, comfort bores them. You can be killing yourself for her, working hard, giving her a dream life, and what does she do instead of valuing it? She gets bored and goes to bed with another guy. Sometimes I think they're masochists, because what they seem to like is struggling with a man. Yeah, because the guy who treats them badly, who cheats on them, who keeps them on an emotional roller coaster, he's the one they chase after and never let go of. Meanwhile, the man who respects himself doesn't lose his cool. He gathers his things, his kids, and leaves. No drama, no scandal. That's what a real man should do.
I've been cheating on him for 3 years. With his best friend. We had 2 kids, 3 and 6 years old. And he could have walked away. Should have walked away, could have. And when all this came out, and I hid it for 3 years in the church, when all of this came out, he looked at me and listened. A good therapist knows your feelings are valid and you can feel all of those things. He was mad. He was hurt. He was confused. He was disoriented. All those things were still true. None of that was underscored.
It doesn't matter if you're a Christian, homie. You know, this is a perfectly good example of when to leave a relationship, man. That is when divorce is necessary, you know, at the end of the day, you know. Hey, homie, you have a woman who does not respect you. 3 years she's cheating on you, man. The Bible tells you when you can leave. I tell men this all the time, man. If a woman goes out and she cheats on you, do not let her play victim. Oh, well, God will forgive you. God will forgive her, yes. But at the end of the day, you can still forgive her and still move on with your life, man. You don't have to deal with a woman like this who cheated on you. Adultery, homie. It's not a joke. Stay cold out here, man. Pick and choose wisely.
Damn! As a Christian man, you have to forgive. That doesn't mean you should trust again. I forgive you, but I want you as far away from me as possible. 3 years of cheating on your husband are 3 years of lies. I'd have my children's DNA tested if necessary. Forgiving is possible, but staying with doubts is torture. The constant suspicion, the stress of thinking every night out could be a betrayal, that will eat your mind. The worst part of staying is living on alert. If you get home late, you're already imagining the worst. I can't live like that. I'd 1,000 times rather start over with someone worthy than stay with a cheater, even if there's money or things in common. Stress kills, brother, and you don't deserve to live that way.
Going with that, give it back to me now. Give that back to me now. That is my ex-husband. Give it back to me right now. Give it back.
I told you. No, I told you not to bring the urn in the house. You can take it to your mother's house.
I don't care what you think. I have a special place. He is not in the way. It's a special place in the house for you. Won't even know that it's there. That is my ex-husband's ashes. That is my...
You beefing with some ashes? Like, you really jealous of a dust cloud. Like, that's some crazy ass shit.
Ex-husband's ashes. Give it back right now. Right now. That is not disrespect. If it's my ex-husband, I don't see anything wrong with it. Give it back now. Give it back.
You're married.
It is not disrespectful. So what does that mean? Yes, I'm married. Yes, we have vows, but we had vows as well. So that is my ex-husband. It's just his ashes. He's gone. Like, what is the problem?
You mad at a vase, bruh. Not a real man, a vase. Now that's some clown-ass behavior. Go cry in the corner and let the dead rest.
There's no problem. He's gone. Like, really? Really?
This should be in
what are you doing? Give it back.
No.
What are you doing?
No,
Give it back.
No. You have a
Give
to make.
it back now.
You don't get
I know you're not about... I know you're... Put that top back on. I know you're not. Put it on, my God.
Imagine being this mad over some ashes. A whole marriage is on the line because you can't handle a vase. Boy, you fighting smoke. Literally.
Me, personally, I wouldn't accept that under any circumstance. Another man's ashes have no place in my house. If she decides to bring them, it's because she hasn't closed that chapter. For me, a new marriage is built from scratch without dragging along the dead weight of a past relationship. If it were me, I'd set a clear boundary. Either the ashes go to his grave or the relationship doesn't work. This isn't about superstitions, it's about respect. I'm not going to share my home with the shadow of another man. What do you guys think?
My girlfriend cheated on me for the dumbest reason. My girlfriend fucking cheated on me for the dumbest reason. Let me start off. In high school, there was this girl that had a crush on me and eventually asked me out. She couldn't believe it after I agreed because she always mentions that I am out of her league. I would always tell her it's not important and that I love her, or why else would I agree on a date, right? You love someone before the first date? That's a weird way to say it. I think I know what you mean. The date went great and we stayed together until she was 22, female, and I was 23, male. We both have decent paying jobs and we're living in a house and we were planning to marry and etc., etc. The thing I didn't like was that she still always mentioned that I was out of her league. I told her I wasn't comfortable with that and I asked her why she would always mention it. She said that she was scared I would cheat on her. I will describe my life. No female friends, just 5 best friends since my childhood. I don't go partying, and if I would never go without my girlfriend. I usually go 2 to 3 times a week without her, my buddies mostly, to the gym. She does go partying without me, but I don't really mind because I trust her and I'm not this kind of jealous partner. She would always come back around 3 a.m., but I would be like sleeping because I have to work at 5 a.m. Pretty active on Instagram, and I would always post pics of me with my buddies or my girlfriend or just pictures of me in the holidays. I would have many people in my DMs, but I would always ignore them, tell them I have a girlfriend, or just block them. Now, one day I was at the gym with my friends, and one of them invited me to his house because we were very tired. He asked me to stay for the night, and I agreed. I immediately told my girlfriend and sent her my location. She just read it, and everything went on normal. So the other day, she came home later than usual, around 4:30 a.m. I was awake because I had to go to work. After I saw her, I just asked why she came home so late, and she answered with, "I've just forgotten the time. I didn't think that much about it, and I just went to work." Later that day, I got a message from her saying that we have to talk. I just said that I have to work, and I'm coming later. Later that day, I came home, and she was sitting on the couch crying. I thought someone died, and I went to comfort her. I asked her what's wrong. She told me that the day she came home late, she had slept with her ex. This is my shocked face. I just looked at her and then asked, why? She said that she's insecure because I'm out of her league and that she's pretty sure that I've cheated too at least once. I just continued looking at her and said that I needed a moment and I ran out of the house. I don't know what to do, so I just went outside and drove away in my car. I'm not an emotional person, so I didn't really cry, but I was just thinking the whole time she cheated on me. After I came home, I saw her just acting like everything is normal. She tried to give me a kiss, but I refused. I don't know what to think right now. I told her that I'm staying at my friend's for a few days. What should I do? Top comment before we get into the update. Sounds like she was right. You are way out of her league. This won't be the only time this happens if you stick around, especially because she is using cheating that she imagined or fabricated to justify cheating on you. The audacity of accusing you of cheating on her right after cheating on you is unreal. Well, she now has not one but 2 genuine reasons to think she doesn't deserve you: her lack of trust and her cheating on you. Take care of yourself first, OP. Stay with your friends, chat with them, and have fun if you can. Think about the future when you feel ready.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
That's a woman with low self-esteem. Clearly, she has a handsome man by her side, and she feels inferior because he's disciplined and more attractive than she is. Women almost always want to be the most attractive one in the relationship. No doubt. This woman has received criticism and looks from other women about her relationship with this man, and that just adds to her insecurity. And in her twisted mind, she cheats on him before he cheats on her, because she's convinced he inevitably will. This man needs to leave her. Like the comments said, she'll do it again and again, and then blame him for it. Besides, how do you allow your wife to come home at 3 in the morning multiple times? The truth is, men today are way too permissive, because if it were me and she showed up at that hour, she'd stay outside. Those are not hours for a married woman to be out. But let's continue.
Women.
For a moment before we dive into this update, Kayla, girlfriend, is so immature. This is immaturity and insecurity combined.
100%. And insecurities, if you let them, can ruin your life. And it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't think I'm good enough for you, so I'll cheat on you so that...
Is that why cheating happens? for the most part? Is it, I mean, I'm sure insecurity drives a lot of it, but her entire attitude from all this, like, I think there's a lot of projection going on there too. Like, her being suspicious of things in general indicates to me that she was acting in a suspicious way. He is very non-jealous, like her coming home at 3 a.m. frequently. I'm like, man, if that, like, that's worrisome
I wonder if
at
his
minimum.
non-jealousy was also in her mind, in her immature mind, was also he doesn't love me like
enough to care.
Yeah. And so like which is, in my opinion, like, if you know, you know, but if you're thinking that without confirmation, like, that's just it's an immature mindset.
Yeah.
It also being out till like 3 a.m. all the time. And then like, I get that he doesn't mind, he doesn't care, but like at some point prioritize your relationship and come home and like realize what you have in a partner.
I don't think just at some point. I think you have to continually choose it. You know what I mean?
I mean, her insecurities are just driving the ship here.
And it kind of seems like a toxic combination,
Or the
right?
boat
He's
or
too
whatever.
chill and she's too unchill. Right? A ship. It's fine. We're going to move. Yeah, it's fine. We know what you mean.
Self-sabotage.
I think
right,
we can all translate Taterisms just on the fly at this point. Self-sabotage for sure. I think this is a toxic combination, first of all. Maybe she needs somebody who is more, not necessarily attentive, but willing to pursue, because maybe not being pursued at all. Like, neither one of them were putting effort into their relationship. They were at a complacent point, right? Where he just did his thing and she was there, and she did her thing and he was there. But none of this seems like they were really together.
Right.
You can't be too cold or too hot. It's true that not being jealous and possessive is good, but it's also not good to just let your wife do whatever she wants. Sometimes you have to show that you care by being jealous in certain situations, by setting boundaries. That's why I tell men, talk to your wife about your non-negotiables. Tell her, these are my limits, and you have to respect them. If she doesn't, then you show her the consequences. This woman was looking for that from him. That's why she kept coming home at 3 in the morning. She wanted him to tell her, that's enough going out alone. You can't keep coming home at 3 a.m. You need to stay with me tonight. Remember, women like to push to see how far their actions will take them. If you're too permissive, things like this will happen. Let's continue.
Here's the update to my girlfriend cheated on me for the dumbest reason. I'll make this as short as I can. So to me, I'm doing great and I don't regret anything. So people thought I would stay. People tried to give me advice. Like, for real, you thought I'm going to stay with her? Of course I was going to dump her. To be honest, I used some advice, but let's start off. I didn't stay long at my friend's 2 days. After that, I went home and immediately said, without even greeting her, you know, you were right. I am way out of your league, and not just with my looks. She immediately started crying, but I didn't care at all. I just wanted her out of my face. She tried to apologize and restart, but I just declined with heck no. After she cried her ass out, she went away. I don't know where she went, but I don't really care either. I've heard that she tried to make herself the victim, but I don't care what or how she is doing. I got shit-stormed by her friends, but it was just very funny. I took it easy and went on just like normal. It's her loss, I guess. I am sorry for the short update and the late posting. Top comment here, the fuck did she think was gonna happen? She was worried OP's out of her league, so therefore she cheated on him to prove it? She just decided in her head that because OP is attractive, he must have around because hot people can't be faithful, and therefore she gets a free pass too? After all that, she still can't believe he's dumping her trashy ass and acts like she's the victim to her friends. This girl could win a gold medal in mental gymnastics. I mean, this is kind of what I mean though by like OP being too chill. OP is like, hopefully OP meets a person that he's willing to actually care about, because it kind of seems like OP didn't care a whole lot in the first place. And what she did, and I'm like, nothing she did is okay. Yeah. She's absolutely in the wrong here, and she needs therapy ASAP. I do agree on that.
Therapy, babe, therapy.
Babe.
100%.
Babe.
Yeah, babe.
Therapy, babe.
This man did the right thing. He drew the line, defended his self-respect, and walked away. There's nothing more masculine than having the courage to cut things off at the root when someone breaks your trust. A lot of men stay trapped in toxic relationships out of fear of starting over, but he understood that peace of mind is worth more than any past story. Now, that "I'm way above your level" must have been very satisfying to say. When a man disciplines himself, works hard, makes progress, and carries himself with presence, he doesn't need to beg for love. Like I've said, I'd 1,000 times rather start something new than stay with someone I don't trust. I'll never live with that kind of stress. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, here are the questions for you. Would you stay with a cheater? Why do you think so many women today cheat on their partners without a reason? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from The Wall.